Good morning, everyone, and happy holidays. How many of you are celebrating Hanukkah, Christmas, the solstice? Like, oh my goodness sakes, this is a very exciting week. So before we begin, make sure you hit that little button right down there in the corner that says subscribe in order to get content and videos and so on. I also put out my 2026 prediction videos. I think it was like a couple of weeks ago now, a week ago. Make sure you watch that video because I give you all of my insights into what I see coming up in 2026. If you go back and watch my 2025 predictions, you're going to see that a lot of things I predicted has happened and currently happening. So let's talk about this week's energy. Oh my gosh, the solstice energy is magical on the 21st. So you're going to notice that your sleep could be a little bit off because we just had that energy of the new moon. We are entering Capricorn season. Happy birthday, my fellow Capricorns. How many of you guys are Capricorns? How many of you guys are? I know a lot of Capricorns. Actually, I get along really well with Capricorns. You know, everybody says, is it certain signs I get along with more or not? Yes, of course. However, it really comes down to the person. We can get along with our opposite sign. Depends what's all involved with the energy and so on and so on. So don't ever brush somebody aside just because you're like, that doesn't, oh, no way am I going to date that sign. No, I get it. Look more so the year, read their energy, even the Chinese zodiac sign. I would suggest reading that even more. Vedic astrology is phenomenal, the best. So let's talk about the solstice energy. This is a time where, look within yourself. Maybe you want to forgive someone for actions they've done. Maybe you want to forgive yourself. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So this is a beautiful time right now, like Christmas season, bringing people and families and friendships together, opening our heart even more. You're still going to be healing through some emotions during this time. The solstice energy combined with Christmas and Hanukkah and oh my goodness, it will spark your emotions. However, you're going to want to set even more boundaries. You could be like, you know what? I just got to take some time for me today. I'm working through my emotions. I'm reflecting back on my year. You're going to want to ground that because that Capricorn energy will help you ground your emotions even more. So it's a day where it could be very lucky for you, a good luck day. Maybe you're going to get that incoming message that you're like, oh my God, that's the best news ever. Maybe win a lotto. I'm just saying. So slow down. Like, don't rush anything during the solstice. Really reflect back and start with long-term goals. There's a time for short-time goals and long-term goals. This solstice is about more long-term goals and finish up on certain projects or tasks. Gee, I have a list of things to do. Look at what your priority is. Get things finished and wrapped up. What you really need to get done. So you're going to see a lot more clarity during this time, which is amazing, which is what we need. Sometimes all we need are just these confirmations that we're on the right path. That really makes a huge difference. Like whenever I do my readings, people are like, geez, I don't know if I'm on the right path or not. And sometimes all we need is that, yes, you're on the right path, or let's look at this and look at that, because we very well need to tweak this or make certain changes with that. This is your opportunity now because you might see that, I got to let go of some habits that are toxic. Like holidays can bring on more. We can drink a little bit more, we can eat a little bit more, we're socializing a lot a bit more, all of these things. So it's just about the balance. So you could be like, yeah, I want to start this and this and that. Really pay attention to, You might have a day where you just really want some space to yourself to meditate, reflect on everything, because it's that time of renewal. It's the longest day and the shortest day, depending where you are on this world. So you could be feeling more towards like more career driven, like, you know what, I just really want to get this project done, or I really want to put this proposal together, or like whatever it is. So pay attention to where you're getting drawn to and pull towards. Very important. There's lots of different ways that people celebrate the solstice energy and so on. How many of you guys do traditional solstice, or what you guys are doing? I'll be working most likely, you know, but you have to be truly grateful. Be truly grateful. I mean, this beautiful necklace here, I had some amazing people. Thank you, Paula and Christine. You really, really touched my heart with sending me this beautiful necklace and the gifts. Like wow, my heart is full with gratitude and love for you guys. Thank you so much. I wear it every day. I've been wearing it every day. I love the energy of it. So now the 22nd and the 23rd, you're going to find that you're going to want to be more independent. You're going to be breaking away from old situations, old habits, routines. This is the day, the 22nd and the 23rd, short-term plans. Yes, that's right. Short-term plans. So really make a list of, okay, I got to get this done this week. I got to get this done today. I got, like short-term plans. Make a list of what is really important that you need to get done and out of the way. So you're also going to see who is supporting you more in a positive direction, a positive way. And also on the 21st, by the way, I am going live on YouTube offering free clairvoyant readings. So you'll have to watch my videos to find out the information on that. So if you want to join me and get a free reading, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I'm just saying. So you're going to see that even more. Relationships are going to be blooming with your soul tribe, with authenticity, with certain connections. You might be showing more compassion and kindness towards other people. And you can also have those little signs of destiny. You're like, ooh, I can start to see certain things that, oh my gosh, I'm putting together that are actually coming together, that are flowing together more in synchronicity, that the direction I'm going, a little bit more excited because you're seeing more clarity as well. So whenever we're seeing more clarity, those illusions are going to be fading away. You're going to see more reality of, oh my gosh, I thought that was my person. I thought this, and that. I was living in a dream state, a fairy tale state of mind, which can kind of, make you feel more heartbroken. However, would you not rather see clarity and see the truth so you know what direction and path to walk upon? It makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? So really pay attention to your intuition, because your intuition is going to be really strong, especially the solstice time. It's also a huge time to manifest. Be really careful what you're asking for. We can manifest things and then we're like, oh my gosh, I just manifested that. But I don't know. Don't worry about it. It shows you how you can manifest, right? So Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the 24th and the 25th of December. Happy Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, everyone. We also have Venus energy, so there's going to be more love in the air. What perfect timing. I mean, I've always liked Christmas Eve myself. I mean, I'll be working Christmas Eve, but it's a time of reflecting over, what we're grateful for, even the littlest things. I'm grateful for even the simplicity, simple things. Really take a look at that. Like some of you are going to be celebrating, you're with family or friends, and for those of you who are by yourself, do certain things that you enjoy doing, that you really love doing. Maybe work on projects, watch the movies, hang out, cook yourself a nice little dinner, whatever it is, phone, see how people are doing, anything like that. I mean, I'd love to be with my family in the UK during this time, Christopher and Samantha. I'd really love to have been there, but it's really far away and I'm not able to go there right now. But you're in my heart, you're in my soul forever. So, this is a time when, because we have this Venus energy, some of you could get engaged today. Maybe your person is buying you a ring for Christmas. Maybe some of you guys are proposing to somebody. It's commitment, Venus energy. Maybe you're going to make a commitment to yourself. This is also the time to balance giving and receiving, boundary setting as well. Because if you're the ones that constantly giving, let's say, you're blocking off to receive. So it's important to balance that and don't allow yourself to be used, for goodness sakes. This is where boundaries come in. If you keep doing all of these things for other people, they're just going to take you for granted and expect it. So open your heart unconditionally always, but balance things out. Self-care day, self-love day as well. You have to have that time for you. Some of you might spend more quiet time on Christmas Day. I always go into deep trances myself. I channel and work with the Christ consciousness. So, especially during December, it's a higher vibrational frequency month. So, I go into a lot of different trances and I start writing down what I'm seeing. Some of you might get more, dreams, more vivid dreams as well. Family coming around in dreams that have passed on, your pets, and so on. That's them. And our loved ones are with us, especially whenever we're going through hard times or, for alone at Christmas, or even if you're around a lot of people, your loved ones are there with you. Ask for physical signs and then surrender it. And then you're like, oh my God, like, exactly. So tell me what you guys are doing for this Christmas season. What does Christmas and these holidays truly mean to you? Who's celebrating Hanukkah? Who is celebrating Christmas? What do you guys normally do? What's your family tradition? We all do different things that mean a lot to ourselves, but just really take this time and be grateful for the little things. Really look back on your year. It's been a very difficult, painful year for a lot of different people because it's endings, completions. Things are ending, things have ended, jobs, relationships, deaths, so on. Just really look back at, where did I grow? What did I learn from this? What area did I have more growth in? Mind, body, soul, meditate. Look at your experiences that you went through. I always take like a negative situation, let's say, and turn it around and say, what did I learn from that? Where's the positives out of that? There's always something we can learn whenever anything negative happens or traumatic happens. Even look at the past events in December with Rob Reiner and his family and the Hanukkah celebration in Sydney. Like, oh my God, like how horrific. Certain events like this open our eyes. And I've talked about that in my predictions videos. Um, you know, even in 2026 and 2025, I talked about things like this. So this is when people will come together and stand in unity. We've had enough, which can bring people more closer together because we're blocking out all of this other stuff. I have a group on Facebook as well, Higher Vibes with Jenny G. Cousins. Join my group, you know, consciousness. I've had people actually send me messages, thank you for your postings and this, and that. And I'm like, oh, right. you know? But even one little posting can really help someone, just a word or a sentence or just something. If it brings you peace of mind, that's the direction to move into. Let go of what is not working, you guys. Like, you know, really pay attention to that. Start working from your heart what direction you want to go towards. So as we move into the 26th and 27th, Boxing Day, shopping malls can be really crazy busy, people returning gifts, all of that. Some people take their trees down. You know, we all do different things. I mean, I have two little mini Christmas trees myself. I mean, it's just myself, so I'm not going to put up some big tree, but I get a little festive and have my little mini trees and so on, right? It's really nice. Get up, I'm up early in the morning, plug in my little trees and brings in that festive Christmas season. Yes. So the 26th and the 27th, you're going to be a little bit more creative as well. So really pay attention to those plans that you want to set in, new plans. You're going to be more disciplined. Maybe you guys like, oh my gosh, Christmas dinner. Oh, I overindulged myself. You could be like, you know what? No, I think I'm just going to really cut back today, this week, because we're getting closer to the new year. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna like maybe just have some fruit and vegetables or salads because that dinner, oh my gosh, right? So you're going to be more disciplined, and discipline could be like with anything, anything. So do things that you are excited about that really inspires you. Pursue what you're really passionate about. Could be anything. Could be anything. Little things. You're going to be able to communicate more from your heart. You're going to be opening up a lot more because you're going to be feeling more grounded during this time. You're going to have more honest conversations. You should be honest anyways, for goodness sakes. Why would you not be? Listen to your heart, speak from your heart. If somebody does you wrong, that's their karma. Karma doesn't lose a phone number ever. So you're going to see a lot more truth with your relationships as well. This week is a real big opening for seeing truth with relationships, which can go either way. So, this is the time when you need more patience on the 28th. You're going to be facing more responsibilities that you might have been trying to run away from. So, and just be really careful with decisions you're making today on the 28th. Because what decisions you make will determine your future and your destiny, what direction you're walking towards. So, really express yourself with what direction you want to move towards, what you want to create, what you want to put together, and really work on it. Start writing it down. I always say the vision board. Don't worry about how or when it's all going to unfold or come together. Just start writing things down. Even go back and review your vision board for 2025. What did you guys work on? What did you guys check mark off that you had done already? But I didn't do this and that. My year was, yes, we all have those years. I've talked to a lot of people, as I mentioned before. I don't feel like I've moved forward this year. And it can feel like that because there's been completions, deaths, endings. So maybe you've had to focus on other priorities like health, or, maybe there's been death in the family, like whatever it is. So don't worry about that. We all have certain cycles to end, where next year things are going to move a lot more quicker. So make sure you watch my predictions video, for goodness sakes, right? So let's just pull a couple of cards here. I don't use cards when I'm with a client. I'm clairvoyant. So, but YouTube, we're going to pull a couple of cards to see what messages are from the universe. So let's ask the 21st to the 28th. What's the message from the universe? I just love this background. Like, wouldn't that be nice? I just love that. I really like festiveness. Festive. Oh, card fell out. Darkest fears. Okay, so we all have fears. Doesn't matter what it is. When we start facing our fears, you're going to find that, geez, you know what? It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was. Our fears can create roadblocks, and whenever you're working on certain things and projects, keep it quiet. Because if you're working on a project, and you talk to somebody about it, they could instantaneously say all the negative reasons why it's not going to work. What happens is you go into fear zone, you stop writing, you stop working on your project, you stop this, all of those things. Write down your fears if you have fears about things, like just write it down and then take each fear. What am I so scared of? Ending a relationship, letting go, walking into the new, right? Walking into the unknown. However, for every ending, there's a new beginning. You've just cleared out and been healing and working through a very karmic 9-year cycle. So you're moving into a new cycle with universal number 1 in 2026. So let's just ask 21st to the 28th, what's the message from Spirit? What's the message from too many cards? What's the message from Spirit? 21st to 28th. 21st to 28th. Message. 21st to the 28th. Whoops. You are gifted. Okay, so what is your purpose? What are you good at? What are you talented with? We all hold different abilities, wisdom, experiences, skill sets. Utilize that. Really utilize what you're passionate about. Really utilize them. You know what? I know I'm good at this. I know I'm really good at writing. I know I'm really good at being a manager in a department store. People, all of those things. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You have to stay true to who you are. We all have different gifts and abilities. Like look at this background. I could not paint a photo like that. I could not paint this picture. No. If it was a paint by number, okay. But you know what I mean? Whoever created that, this background here, look at the talent they have. So we all have our own talents, no matter what it is. So make sure you guys do that. Follow your own interest and such. So let's have a little chat with the animal kingdom. I'm also an animal communicator, by the way. So the 21st to the 28th, what is the messages from our animal kingdom? Wow. Kingfisher, a bird. Be patient and focused. Yes, be patient. We'd all love to wave that magical wand. Boom, 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 boom. I want this. I want that. I want it now. Things come together in the right divine timing. We can want certain things to happen way before it's time. Why isn't this happening? Because it's not the right time. If you started doing things when it's not the right time at all, it's not going to work, or it's not the right path for you. So how many of you guys are going to be subscribing to my channel right now? Hit that little red button. And again, thank you, Paula and Christine, for this beautiful, beautiful necklace. I'm so truly grateful for you both. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching the video. Join my group, Higher Vibes with Jenny G. Cousins, on Facebook. I'll add you in. We're all one collective consciousness. Let us work together as one. Namaste. And have a merry, merry, happy Hanukkah and Christmas and solstice. Namaste.